Hey guys, M2 Collector here with another figure review, and next up is the Black Widow 2-pack of Red Guardian and Melina Vostakoff. So this 2-pack actually popped up and was available in stock on BigBadToyStore.com. So I put in my order and got it shipped and arrived today. So I'm kind of breaking it in the middle of the Disney Plus wave because there's just too many Legends figures that are coming this week. I'm expecting the Villains wave and then She-Hulk as well. So it's just kind of crazy. But here's another 2-pack, one of those, why the hell did Hasbro do this? It was lazy. They should have done this the first time. I get it. I understand. However, Marvel just doesn't give Hasbro enough time to produce the screen accurate figures, right? So they go off of early promo art, whatever they have available, they make the figure off of that. We get mad because it's not accurate, but what are they to do? They're supposed to make the figure to help promote the movie. What are they just not? And then they release the movie and then the figure comes out and it's already too late. Nobody's going to give a shit and want it. That's typically what ends up happening. In this case, Black Widow, because the movie still hasn't come out yet, over a year. It's like a year and a half delay or whatever. But in normal circumstances, that would be the case. I, for one, don't mind it. Maybe in the movie we see a younger Red Guardian, and he has that look where his beard is shorter and his hair is not all crazy looking. That's the running theory that I'm going to go with. When the movie comes out in July, we shall see. Melina, it looks to be just a reused Black Widow figure. That's to be expected. I mean, what else are they going to do when she basically has the same suit? So it is what it is, but we do get some cool looking accessories. So we got the grappling hook. We got those batons, which actually came with a Black Widow figure before, so that's nothing new. But check it out. We have a mini Red Guardian action figure to go with our Red Guardian action figure. So that's something at least, right? Right? Something? Yeah. Anyway, Black Widow movie logo there, Red Guardian, Melina up there, Black Widow logo up at the top, side artwork of Melina Vostakoff there, side artwork of Red Guardian right there, and you can see his beard is actually short there. Interesting. So there's a look at the promo images from the sides, actually showing them together. The bio reads, Red Guardian and Melina. After decades of service, Melina Vostakoff distanced herself from the Red Room. But when Natasha Romanoff returns, Melina and Red Guardian must decide where their allegiance lies. After decades of service, it actually, wow, I just noticed that. Okay, English. So they put the same exact bio in English 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different times. So Spanish version, nah, not going to do it. French version, nah, oversight. We're just not going to do it. Maybe on a future release they'll fix that, but I don't know. Somebody messed up somewhere by not putting the translations in the other languages. So that's kind of an interesting thing that happened there. Let's get them out of the package. Okay, so here is the Red Guardian and Melina figures out of the package, and some interesting things. It's essentially this again, the same exact Red Guardian figure. The Melina figure is the same exact thing as the Black Widow deluxe figure, the one that was in the white suit. So there's nothing new there. Really the big things that are new is going to be the action figure, the two David Harbour head sculpts. So the one with the helmet and the one without, which do look really good. So we'll take a closer look at those. We get interchangeable hands for Red Guardian. He actually, but they're not gloved, which is kind of weird. So no gloves, these open hands for him, which is odd. We get interchangeable hands for Melina. So out of the package, she has some open holding hands, which would be the trigger finger hands. She has these holding hands here for the batons, and then she also comes with a pair of fist hands here, as you can see, and then it has like that off-white yellowish color there that kind of accents her shoulders and knee pads there. The grappling hook is really cool, so you actually get a string there, and you have this end here that somebody would be able to hold on to. But the grappling hook itself looks pretty good. It's just done in this dark gray plastic. It's not quite black, and almost, you know, just so a little bit off, but it looks pretty good. You got these little serrated edges there to really hook onto something. So that's pretty cool. So those are kind of the big things that are new. We do have the Red Guardian shield, which I seem to have misplaced at the moment. I don't know what I did with that thing, but it's basically the same as the previous one that we had gotten before. The big change is they made it a darker color as opposed to the one that was previous. So here we have, you know, this gunmetal gray, whereas before it was kind of a really light gray that was supposed to kind of represent the silver color, but not. So they really kind of darkened up the previous release of Red Guardian that we had gotten before. So we'll kind of take a look at some of those things. Real quickly, I want to go over the articulation and show you the things, but really it's going to be highlighting the differences in the figures and then looking at those head sculpts. So let's check them out. Okay, so first let's talk about the Red Guardian action figure. So it's just that little guy there. He can use his open holding hand, the one without the glove, to hold it. Not a whole lot of details, but we do get white glove, white boots, white belt, that gunmetal gray for that star there in the front, a little bit of skin tone flesh, no beard, and then on the shield we get the star that's in that gunmetal color. It is not articulated, but looks pretty good. I mean, they even got the white of the gloves on the back side of that shield, so not sure how this will play out for the movie, but that is still pretty cool. I like that. That was kind of the biggest thing. Here we have the shield again, that gunmetal gray color, that shitty ass scary clip that's just going to break on you, so be careful. I will absolutely not be clipping this onto his arm because I tend to break things that way. But looking at Red Guardian here, we have his helmeted head sculpt. Okay, so I love the updated look and the fact that we actually got a Red Guardian with the helmet. One thing, it's kind of weird to see. It's hard to kind of see his eyes. It almost looks like he's cross-eyed, but having it in hand is a little bit better. But I think the paint on his right eye on our left side just doesn't look as clean or as good. But overall, I'm happy with it, with the way it looks. Now, I'm not happy with some of the paint apps on there. We get that red star there on the front. I'm just going to try and focus in. But looks to me a little lazy. So we have this little black portion there that comes right at the bottom of the red part of the helmet. But then underneath it, they just kind of painted what looks to be molded hair. The sculpted on there, they just painted it all black to kind of go with that strap there, when it should be brown as far as the hair. So it's those little details that just kind of like, it's not real good. And then up underneath, look at that beard. You got a lot of the flesh tone there as opposed to the color of the beard. So that kind of sucks. But we do get some nice gray lines in there to show, you know, he's aging into the beard. So I like that. So overall, it's okay. Just a little bit of misses on the paint apps, which is unfortunate. The really nice thing, though, is, as I pop this head off, this David Harbour head sculpt looks really good. Like really, really good. That looks great. The eyes look better. The beard looks the same. And we don't have as much issues as far as the skin tone of the beard. I mean, it's there a little bit, but it's not nearly as bad as the helmeted version. I'm going to display him with the helmet on because I think, you know, that's how you're going to want to do it. But that head sculpt is really good. Now, that's not to say that this one's terrible. I think that one's good too. It just doesn't look like what we saw in the trailer. Maybe super young years ago in the past, that could work, but man, that's what we see in the trailer. Maybe he looks a little bit more scruffy, a little bit more dirty, but that looks really good. So huge update there. Another change is, if you notice right there on his star, you actually see some lines. So there's a little circle right in the middle, and then it has some line work actually going out across there. Hopefully you guys could see that right there. So that is really cool. So they made some color changes, of course, to the previous release. So we get a darker gunmetal color as opposed to a really light looking gray. And then some of the grays swapped out for a off-white color, like the straps, the buckles, the pouches, the boot covers, things like that. So it's a much better overall looking figure. One thing that I was noticing, I was like, oh, they changed like these gauntlet pieces, because you see there's some silver paint there. But it turns out mine, I think, has two right forearms, because this one, that piece is there when it should be on the top like that. So I just kind of noticed that this time around now looking at this. So that kind of sucks. I don't know if you can find that Red Guardian figure anywhere lately, so I could try and replace that, but it is what it is. But yeah, huge update to this guy. Much appreciated. Should have gotten it the first time around, as many of you guys will say. I agree, but again, timing of it just doesn't seem to work out. Plus, now we get this 2-pack and we actually get a Melina figure, so we'll take a look at that. The head sculpt is just good. It's not great, because I think it makes her cheeks look really puffy. There's something kind of weird going on with it, and how the light hits those cheekbones. Like, looking at her like that, I think looks fantastic. Looks just like the actress, and her name is escaping me right now. I can't think of it. I think she's married to Daniel Craig. God, what's her name? Rachel Weisz. Rachel Weisz. So that looks like her. Looks like her. Just a little, again, face looks a little too wide. But again, Black Widow figure all the way. So here's an interesting thing. We have those holsters there. I thought, oh no, we got molded guns on there. Crap. Boom! We actually got little teeny tiny itty bitty guns that are super thin and will be easily lost. So careful with that. And there's actually looks like some paint on the handle there. Ooh. As I try and focus in. So it looks like it's kind of a dark gray plastic with a little bit of black paint in there. So they actually got some paint on there. So that is pretty cool. So be careful you don't lose those, because these things are tiny. But at least they come out, which is nice. Unlike Deadpool. So there's that eye. So yeah, not a whole lot. Again, just the Black Widow figure, just with these off-white colors there on the back of the glove, the shoulders, the knee pads, and that's it. Otherwise, it is the Black Widow figure all over again. And then she doesn't have the stingers on the wrists, but that's it. So we'll go over articulation quickly. Basically, we've seen it already on these figures, so we'll take a quick look. He's only going to look up that much. He's not going to look down because the beard gets in the way. Swivel, pivot, shoulders go up that high, full rotation, of course. There is an upper bicep swivel. You get a double jointed elbow, which doesn't give you a lot of bend because that gauntlet piece hits that bicep piece. So that's a little unfortunate. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge. We have a roll of the dice hinge on that right hand, and left we have the horizontal. So vertical, horizontal, ab crunch. You can crunch forward that much. You can go back that much. You have a waist swivel in there, which is good. Legs go out that far apart. You can kick forward that high. You have upper thigh cut there. You have a double jointed knee, which gives you that much bend there. There is a swivel at the boot. Foot hinges all the way down like so, and we get a little bit of hinge up. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So Melina Vostakoff, she can look down that much. She can look up only a little bit, but the ponytail really gets in the way of that back piece there. Swivel, of course, and you get some pivot. Shoulder goes up that high. You get a full rotation. It is a single jointed elbow, which gives you more than 90 degree because it is the deep cut elbow there. We also have a swivel at that elbow. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge. We have the vertical hinge there. Vertical hinge on both hands, actually. Diaphragm joint, so she can pivot to her left that much. She can pivot to her right that much. She can go back a little bit. She can come forward tiny bit, and the swivel at that diaphragm joint because there's no swivel at the waist. Legs go out that far apart. She can kick forward that high. You have an upper thigh cut in there. You get a double jointed knee like so there. No boot swivel or anything. You have a foot that hinges down somewhat. You get hinges up quite a bit. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet, closer to the center of the foot, or more so to the toe. So there it is. Again, lots of reuse, but let's see all the Black Widow movie figures together. Okay, so first of the side-by-sides, we'll see the old Red Guardian with the new Red Guardian. I'm having trouble getting this new one to stand, but seeing them side by side, you can really notice the differences between the two. We get some black added lines there in his abdomen, and then down his leg and everything. So it's nice to see kind of the updates there, and then all those gray parts kind of went into an off-white color. Some of them, you know, going that gray into the gunmetal. It just looks so much better. And then here you can see just the same exact figure, just without the stingers and a little bit of color changes there. But it's all going to be accurate to the movie for the most part, so I'm not even mad at it. I'm an MCU guy, so if they give us an update, they give us an update. If we don't get an update, we don't get an update. I'm a completist. I love the MCU, so any movie figure, I'm happy to buy them to support the movie, support the Marvel Legends figures, and then we get more characters like Melina Vostakoff. We tend to see that with 2-packs. We get another one that's repainted and then another new character. Sometimes the character's all reused mold, sculpt. Sometimes it's all brand new. This time it was not. So, but you know, 2 David Harbour head sculpts, one with an actual helmet that looks really good, just, you know, a few paint flaws here and there. But we get a little action figure to go with our action figure, so that almost makes it worth it alone, right? Because check that out. Isn't that cool? I like that a lot. So there is the 2-pack with the original figures. Now let's see the other movie figures thrown in the mix. So there is all the Black Widow movie figures. All I did was take out this Red Guardian. But we have the Taskmaster, the Black Widow in the black gray suit. We have the Yelena Belova, Melina Vostokoff, and then, of course, Black Widow there. So it's really rounding out quite nicely. We still haven't seen the damn movie, but I am very excited to come July 9th. I'm not sure if I'm going to go see it in theater or if I'm going to do the premiere access. I might do both. We shall see. But I'm going to do one more side-by-side comparison for you guys. Okay, so last side-by-side, Red Guardian and the comic Red Guardian figure. So you can see it is a fairly comic-accurate suit. They really took the inspiration, made it its own, so they look really good. Okay, so final thoughts here. It sucks to have to buy the same figure again, but it's a nice update to get it really screen accurate. The little action figure is cool. Melina Vostakoff, chances are nobody wanted her. I, for one, always like it when we get additional characters. So I'm a happy buyer right now with the Marvel Legends. I'll still keep the Red Guardian. Hopefully in the movie we see a younger version of Red Guardian to swear that this figure would actually really make sense. Otherwise, it's hard to imagine that the early concept art would show this compared to that and compared to this, right? It's insane to think about how that is. But anyway, here I'm happy with the 2-pack. You guys let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts are. Are you extremely pissed that you're gonna have to buy the same Red Guardian figure again, or just mad because they re-released it again but you're not buying it anyway because you hate MCU figures? But let me know all your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. If you guys liked the video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you have not already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.